Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing the Nope Trope Book Tag, which was created by the wonderful Zoe from Zoe's All Booked. I saw this, I think she created it last month or the month before. And Zoe is a booktuber that I really enjoy. She's really fun and she's got this really dry, sarcastic sense of humour, which I really get on with. And I saw that she put this tag up and it's really fun, and so I thought I would give it a go. So I've got the questions here, which is where I'm looking. It's only got 6 questions and yeah, let's get into it. Question 1, eavesdropping / miscommunication. Name a book that you heard great things about and expected to love but ended up hating. I could have picked quite a few for this because I think, as a lot of people do, I kind of got caught up in some booktube hype around certain books when I first started, which I've now learned to pretty much ignore. But the book that I have chosen for this question is The Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I don't have a copy of this. I read it on my mother-in-law's Kindle whilst I was on honeymoon. And yeah, I'd heard loads of hype about it. It was a host pick for the first round of Mental Health-a-thon, which was last May. And I know that Leigh Bardugo is like really beloved in this community. And to be fair, Six Crows is the only book of hers that I've read. But I was just really bored and a bit lost. And yeah, I think if it hadn't been a host pick for a readathon, I may well have DNF'd it. But yeah, that book was just not for me. Question 2, love triangles. Name a series where you can't pick your favourite book. So I don't read a lot of series, but there is only one series for me where I gave it 5 stars across the board, and that is the Hunger Games series by Suzanne Collins. I read these books when they first came out and loved them, and then I reread them this year via audiobook and I loved them again, and I gave all 3 5 stars, and I just think they're brilliant books. I love the story arc that you get across all 3. I love how dark they are. I love how complicated it is and political, and yeah, I can't pick a favourite of the books. So that would be my answer for this question. Question 3, not like other girls / didn't know I'm beautiful. Wow, is that a trope I hate? By the way, Jack is in the room, so if you can hear something moving about, it's just Jack. Yeah, I really hate that trope. Anyway, name a book that has a pretty cover but was boring as all hell. I feel a bit bad choosing this one because it was a gift. But to be fair, it was a gift from my wish list, so it's kind of my own fault. And it is one of the prettiest books I own, but the story itself I just didn't click with, and that is The Deathless Girls by Kieran, Millward, Hargrave. I mean, let's just enjoy this cover because it is absolutely glorious. And you've got this foiling, and then when you take it off, like, the book underneath is beautiful. Like, you know, we all know how much I love a bit of foiling, and just look at that spine. Oh man, I wish I could keep this, but I don't keep books that I don't love. And also the end pages, all really beautiful. And this book bored me senseless. That's probably a bit harsh, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I was hoping to. It's supposed to be a retelling of Dracula, from the perspective of Dracula's brides, but it's quite long. How long are you? It's over 300 pages long, and it felt like it was like a prelude to a longer story. It felt like the story only got going in the last sort of 10 pages, and the whole way along I was waiting for it to start and it just didn't go anywhere, which was really frustrating because it's so pretty. Question 4, all-consuming love. Name a book that gave you a book hangover. So just in case any of you don't know what a book hangover is, it's where you read a book that's so good that you feel like you can't read anything else for a while because your brain is just caught up in that book. And this is a book that gave me a book hangover. It's also beautiful, and I think it's also slightly ruined me for historical fiction for the rest of my life. And that book is The Illumination of Ursula Fight by Anna Marie Crowhurst. I have talked about this book so many times on my channel. It's one of my favourite books of last year. It was recommended by Harriet Rosie Reads, and then I won it in a Instagram giveaway, which was really exciting. One that my friend Sarah was doing, and she was kind enough to send me this gorgeous copy of it. I mean, it's glorious, and it makes me happy every time I see it on my shelf. And like, yeah, it's very pretty. I think it's just it's a naked hardback, which is covered in my fingerprints. So yeah, this is definitely a book that gave me a book hangover. This is set in the 1800s and we basically follow Ursula Flight's whole life. She's born into an aristocratic family who want her to get married to some rich guy and have more babies, but she wants to be a playwright, and she spends the whole book trying to work out how to make her dream happen in a time when women weren't allowed on the stage or to write for the stage. And whole sections of this are in script format. So we get some of her diary entries, we also get normal prose, but we also get like script format. So it's just the conversation that the characters are having, but it's in that format, and I absolutely adored this book. I am going to reread it at some point. Look how shiny that is. Let's tilt it. And yeah, when I saw this question, that was the first book I thought of. Question 5, Douchebag Boyfriend. Name a book. I love the names of these cues. Name a book that took you a while to get into but you ended up loving. So this is actually a book, as you will see, that I'm still currently reading, but also it was the first book I thought of when I saw this prompt, and that is Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. I am really enjoying this. I am just over halfway. I'm hoping to finish it this weekend, and yeah, I went into it, no pun intended, with no expectations whatsoever, and I'm actually thoroughly enjoying it. It's a little bit slow because of the time it was written in, and it's quite overwritten in places, but I am really, really enjoying it. And the first sort of 50 pages I was a little bit like, this could be a slog and I have to read it for uni, but actually once I got over those first 50 pages, I'm really enjoying it, and yeah, it's a good time. Also, this cover is super creepy because that's Miss Havisham in her wedding dress, and I love that she's in this beautiful dress, but then you notice her flowers have died and also her hands have aged, and I just think it's really creepy. I don't usually like the Wordsworth classic editions, but this is just for uni, so I bought the cheapest copy I could find. But actually, I think that cover's pretty cool. Right, question 6, tell us your favourite or least favourite trope. So I've got one for each. This is the last question. My favourite trope is the closed-in setting, particularly for thrillers or mysteries, because then you know it's got to be someone that you've met, and I just like the kind of tension that brings and how claustrophobic it makes you feel. I think one of the queens of that is Ruth Ware. She's really good at the closed-in setting, and it's always something that I've enjoyed in her books, whether I've liked the rest of the book or not. The closed-in setting is always one I've enjoyed. And then my least favourite trope, I was just looking at my notes down here, is when a girl gets a makeover. Like, she takes her glasses off and suddenly she's the most beautiful girl in the room. It's just a bit boring, isn't it? Here comes the cat. You come in? Yeah, it's just a bit dull and it's a bit done, and we just don't need it anymore, so I think it can get in the bin. Thank you very much. Jack's now lying on my notes, which is super helpful of him. Those are all the questions. I'm going to tag 3 people who I think would have good fun with this, and that is Emma from Drinking by My Shelf, it is Lauren from She Is Such a Lauren, and Kaz from Cats and Camera. I am tagging you, ladies. This was a really fun tag. Thank you very much to Zoe for creating it. I will leave, obviously, Zoe's link in the description along with her original video. And yeah, leave me a comment and tell me what your favourite trope is and your favourite example of that trope. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.